Hey everyone, my name is Rich McGowan, Vice President Lending with Guaranteed Rate. My NMLS number is 1035650. I want to share with you a very good overview of New Jersey Housing Mortgage Finance Agency's Down Payment Assistance Program with the forgivable grants for the purchase of properties in New Jersey. Going forward, we will refer to the program as DPA. The new grant for some counties has gone from $10,000 to $15,000, which has increased a lot of demand for this product. On an FHA loan, the $15,000 would represent the full 3.5% down payment on a house price of $428,571. With the $10,000 grant, 3.5% full down payment would be full down payment for a $285,000 714 price point. As for conventional, you only have to put 3% down. So $15,000 grant would equate to a purchase price of $500,000, and the $10,000 would be $333,333. Also, there is exciting news you will hear later in the video on the conventional loan. The income ceiling has been increased significantly, so stay tuned for that. That's a big game changer. There's an old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So please watch this 15 to 20 minute video in full. We're going to go over some pros and cons of various programs and issues that we've encountered over the years here at Guaranteed Rate. I think it's important that you spend a little bit more of your time now to save a lot of time and headaches going forward. There's a lot of misinformation being put out there, resulting in a lot of misconceptions. Further, as a disclaimer, we will not be talking about actual interest rates here. The only way to provide a proper quote is to have a completed application. This way, we're in compliance with the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, where we'll be able to quote you with an APR annual percentage rate. I will hold up a QR code so that you can download my website, which will afford you the opportunity to download an extensive first-time homebuyer ebook. As well, complete an application and look at other choices of loan products for yourself. Once you do the application, we can further show you all your closing costs. The purpose of this video is to make sure you understand if this is the right program for you. You're financially comfortable and that you're aware of other loan choices and scenarios. Pause the video and download the QR code. At the end, I'll hold it up again. So with that said, we'll jump in a second right after this QR code. Okay. All right. I know a lot of you will see this on your phone, so you may have to just go into the website itself. Again, all its contact information will be provided at the end. We're going to go over we're going to go over a quick overview of the program itself. There's about 6 different immediate requirements that you must satisfy to move forward. Note well, these are not the only requirements for underwriting and approval. We'll go over requirements for underwriting and approval further in. We will go over how to avoid time delays and other common recurring issues. Then we'll jump into the types of loans and the pros and cons. So let's start this way. Overview. New Jersey Housing Mortgage Finance Agency offers a forgivable grant based upon certain qualifying parameters. What's well to note is that there are about 70 lenders who offer this program. Think of us as a distribution channel for the grant. The grant can be applied toward the full down payment, and should there be funds left over, can be applied towards closing costs. Most importantly, and this is extremely important to note, is that all lenders, all at the same time, have the same rate based upon the day that you lock your loan. So with that said, you're not looking to shop for rates. You're looking to shop for service. Also note, the rate is set by the state, and this is the same for all FICO scores, provided your middle FICO score is 620 or above. If there's 2 people on the loan, the lowest middle FICO score must be a minimum of 620. Also, you cannot pay points and buy down the rates. The rate is the rate is the rate, and that's set by the state, okay? I encourage you to do your due diligence. Ask your lender if they have experience with these loans and if they have completed the training and are certified. You wouldn't want to be on an operating table, have a surgeon come up to you and say, "Congratulations, you're my first patient I'm performing surgery on." So ask some questions. Have you done these before? Has your back office done these before? Have you and your company been trained and certified? Has your post-closing department done these? There's a lot of paperwork at the end after closing. These programs are more complicated. They're time-consuming. They're a lot more than normal, and have a lot more underwriting conditions than some loans. So let's go over 6 major points you must satisfy to go ahead and really get going into this. Number 1, you must get a pre-approval from a participating lender. Many times I hear, I was pre-approved with another lender and I want the grant. You again have to use a participating lender. Get a pre-approval specific to this program. You do not want to waste your time, the lender's time, and most importantly, a real estate agent's time. As a side note, let me just say this. I'd like to point out how important it is to show allegiance and respect for a realtor's time and energy. They work extremely hard and all kinds of hours. Treat them like family, please. They're taking care of you and your family. So enough said there. If you're working with a realtor, please pass this along for them. This way they can manage their expectations, the seller's expectations. As a result, everybody will know what's going on. These usually take about 60 days to close, okay? And they have to close within 60 days. We'll hear some of the important factors that'll come up in issues going forward here, okay? The documentation we will need to get approval for this program include the following, all right? We will need pay stubs and bank statements to validate income and availability of funds for closing costs. You can cover closing costs with a seller's concession up to 6% on FHA loans and 3% on conventional. You cannot get back monies, though, at closing above anything. You cannot get money back. If you indicate you have 20% or more for a down payment, you will not go ahead and qualify. Also, we will need 3 years of tax returns and W-2s. Further paperwork we would need based upon circumstances would be divorce papers with divorce decree, child support, alimony, all with supporting documentation. We will need to see the agreement terms if you have a payment plan with the IRS. Student loan obligations are another big factor, albeit mostly everyone with student loans is in deferment. We still have to factor into the debt income ratios that at some point you will be paying. Bankruptcy documents with discharge date, and if you have satisfied the waiting period. And lastly, the course certificate. Okay, second, you must stay in the home for 5 years. If you sell or refinance one day before the 5-year anniversary of your closing date, you're going to have to go ahead and pay back the grant in full. Number 3, as I said before, you must provide us with 3 years of tax returns so we can validate that you have not taken any mortgage deductions. We also like to see these up front for other reasons as well, but ultimately you will sign permission for us to obtain 3 years of IRS transcripts so that the state can validate that you did not take a mortgage deductions. Therefore, you will qualify as a first-time home buyer. One of the reasons we do like to see tax returns up front is if a borrower has a self-employed side business. A big loss or major deductions can affect income tremendously. What I like to say to people all the time is the following. It's not what you make, it's what your accountant says you make. So keep that in mind, all right? Also, well to note, as an example, you could have owned a home for 20 years, got divorced, and rent for 3 years, and at the same time own a second home, an investment home at present. But if you have not owned the principal residence for previous 3 years, you are a first-time home buyer. There are lots of loans out there that you can go ahead and choose from, but when it comes to this one, this is where you want to be for first-time home buyer. You must show that you have access to a 1-month payment. Should we go into another crisis like COVID, you do not have to move money. For example, you can show that you have access to a retirement account like a 401k for the full amount of the mortgage payment. Excuse me. Number 5, you must take a homebuyer education class and pass for a certificate that is good for 1 year. The class is very engaging and most informative. It is free, it's online, and it's at your pace. There are two kinds of classes, one for the government loan program and the other for the conventional loan program. When you email me, I will provide you with those links. If there's two borrowers on the loan, both parties must be on the certificate. What I always say is knock this out with the both of you at the same time. The course is about 3 hours, which I feel is a pretty good amount of time, or a short amount of time, to qualify for a $10,000 or a $15,000 grant, depending upon the county again. As a matter of suggestion, please have a master notebook for what I like to call your real estate journey. Jot a lot of things down. You're going to have to be very organized. And then this way you can write down questions and we can field them as we're going along throughout this whole process. Number 6, again, to reiterate, you need a FICO score of 620. Next, I would like to point out 2 areas where we've had run into major issues here. All loans must be started and closed within 60 days. So it is important, again, that you're dealing with an experienced lender, as you can run into major problems by way of time. There are 2 separate files, a lender mortgage file and a second grant file that must sync up perfectly. So make sure, we get all the information we need just right. I speak for myself when I say this, okay? I will not start a loan until you as a borrower are satisfied with a home inspection. We do not require a home inspection, but what is critical is that if you do encounter things that may have to be negotiated, that we don't run into a big time crunch. As an example of this, when you go under contract, you will have an attorney review period. I highly encourage that the moment you sign the contract, that you and your realtor have a home inspection ready to be performed and turn back in 1 day the moment you come out of that attorney review. Should there be any sort of negotiations, that could be something that could drag. Personally, I had a loan where we had to negotiate a $17,000 structural repair, and we ran over the time limit of 3 weeks, or by 3 weeks. So with that all said, just be ready with the home inspection and get everything cleared and buttoned up. Second, big one. This area, probably the larger percentage of problems that we've occurred is with inexperienced title insurance companies. The title insurance companies perform critical functions. First, they examine and report whether the property has any liens or encumbrances. So that's important. But second, and this is critical, they are also the escrow agent. They will be marrying up all the numbers between the loan file and the grant file. Those numbers must marry up perfectly with the lender, the lawyers, the state, the closing agent, and the banks sending and receiving wires. If you're dealing with a title insurance company that's not familiar with these programs and short-staffed, all right, they can be extremely problematic for the parties. So make sure you're dealing with somebody who is very experienced with these. Another huge issue is septic and well. You will need to have certification that septic systems are operating correctly. Well water must be tested for drinking and household use. Underwriters will not move forward until these are satisfied. Testing time, repairs become severe time delays. An example, I had one 2 years ago. The quote was, he'll be out there Friday, everything will be done. And then on Thursday up in Mendham, we had about 2.5 feet of snow and we had about a 3-week delay. So nothing happened until then. Additionally, the DPA programs require wood destroying certifications should an appraiser note any evidence of infestation or damage. Also, if the property is in a flood zone, a life of the loan flood determination is required and a completed FEMA flood elevation certificate. Note this, that some of these costs that you lay out up front, like home inspection fees, appraisal fees, can be reimbursed up to $3,000 at closing. So this way you can go ahead, pay off your credit cards. I'll explain those costs further when you contact us. There's too many to list right at the moment. As for programs themselves, there's 2 categories, government, and then there's a conventional. On the government side, there are 3 loan types that are attached to the DPA, which are FHA, USDA, and VA. For time constraints, what we'll do is we'll just talk about the most widely used program, which is FHA on the government side. The DPA has 2 programs within the government side, which is the first-time homebuyer program, and then Homeward Bound program. They have different income levels and different debt-to-income levels. When you email me, I will send you directly from the state of New Jersey the various breakdowns of income levels, so you can, figure out per county what you're up against there. When you email me, we'll have other information that will have some breakdowns of the things that you need to take care of. Note that they are both for first-time home buyers. That program, there's misinformation or a misconception is what I really want to say when it says first-time home buyer and Homeward Bound. They're both first-time home buyers. Okay. The other first-time home buyer program is a conventional loan. That is the HFA Advantage, which follows Freddie Mac Home Possible guidelines. And this is the exciting news, is that the now income ceilings have increased to mirror image Homeward Bound income ceilings on the government side. Why this is exciting is that the old levels for the HFA Advantage conventional ranged from $57,840 to $95,360, depending upon the county. Now, you will see the new income ceilings jump to the low range of $148,400 and to a high of $172,480, depending upon the counties again. So again, once you get those flyers, you'll see, depending upon where you want to move, you just got to compare that you just don't go over those ceilings. Those are significant numbers for a two-income household family now. Prior, we used to have a lot of problems where people would just go over that $95,000 and then they had to run into go government and all that. Excuse me. Pros and cons. On the first-time home buyer, you will see lower rate than Homeward Bound and then the conventional HFA Advantage. For now, what I'll just do is compare FHA against conventional. FHA, you put down 3.5% as compared to conventional, you put down 3%. It's well to note that with FHA loans, you will have most likely a lower rate, but you will have mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. Okay. Conversely, with the conventional loan, the mortgage insurance can be dropped off after contacting your loan servicer once the loan reaches a loan to value LTV 80% or under. FHA will have a set rate for mortgage insurance as compared to the conventional, which the mortgage insurance can vary based upon income. Again, this is where these loans can be complicated. There's a whole formula for that. Also, be aware, the automated underwriting on the conventional loans are sometimes having difficulties passing under a 675 FICO score, which would portend in order for the grant, if you wanted to get the grant, you would probably switch back over to FHA then. You should be aware that FHA, with FHA, that 99% of the condos in New Jersey are not FHA approved, as compared to if you do go with the conventional product, then you are wide open to purchase condos, which is the reason why people lean a lot more towards the conventional if they're looking for condos. You'll find that with FHA appraisals, we'll have a few more requirements than the conventional appraisals. Again, download my website and download my first-time homebuyers ebook for more specific information. Further, you can purchase 1 to 4 family units with FHA. One of the misconceptions, though, I run into is that people think that if the other unit's rental income covers the payment, that they are home free to underwrite. The fact of the matter is that all loans must pass automated underwriting, which can be tricky. It is the computer that determines, for the most part, the underwriting, and the underwriter verifies all the satisfied conditions. Part of the matrix that can weigh heavy multifamily loans will be conditions like reserves, meaning do you have 6 to 8 months of payments in the bank or available through your retirement accounts? Keep in mind, you're a landlord now. And when things break, and they will, or go wrong, will you be able to carry the mortgage payments on your own and afford repairs? Other variable factors will be employment history, debt to income ratios, loan to value, credit scores, amongst other things. You should know all factors just mentioned hold true for all loans. So keep that part in mind. What else? So once you receive the fact sheets that I email you via the state, I would go through the income levels first and make sure you're under the ceilings here, starting with income for the first-time home buyer. And if you go over the ceiling, then look at the homeward bound for the government loans. Further, we'll show you side-by-side comparisons with various programs so you can go ahead and make informed decisions and plan if you're not ready to move forward. Again, this may not be the right time for you, but at least you can go ahead and have a game plan once we show you all your closing costs, payments, etc. But again, you have to do an application for that. I will again hold up the QR code coming up in a second. Additional contact info will be at the end of the video as well. So let me just hold this up again. Okay. Again, feel free, reach out with any questions for more information, and then share this with any realtors that you're working with and anybody who might benefit from these programs. I hope you found this very informative. We can answer any and all questions once you get in contact with us. You can also make an appointment with me once you see my email, and there'll be a scheduling calendar there for you. So thank you once again. I look forward to hearing from you and being of service to you. Take care now. Thank you.